Hey, what's up, guys? Bill the Universe. I'm going to talk about the chart of Florence Pugh. This chart is very interesting to me. It's very feminine. It's also very powerful, and it's also very strong, and it's very giving. It is very volatile. It can be a little bit two-faced. It's all encompassing. It's giving to all. It's very selfless. But it's also volatile. I think I already said that. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of Jupiter here. Whole bunch of Jupiter. Jupiter is sattvic. Jupiter is very sattvic. So I get a kind of a chill vibe from her, even though her chart says otherwise. So let's get into let's get into that. It's like you're gonna get a chill person until they're not chill, and then it's like completely another person. This person, I think, had a rich dad, or like a wealthy father, because not only is the sun in Jupiter, Jupiter is a very, like I said, masculine placement. I know I said it's a very feminine energy, the whole chart, and it is overall. But this particular placement is actually very masculine because it's Jupiter. Jupiter is the father. Jupiter is the sacrificer. Jupiter sacrifices. So this is a very sacrificing person. This person probably gives too much and probably gives too much energy to other people and needs to like really reclaim that for herself, which is interesting. Because the way Jupiter people become rich is that they give. That's how, this is sattvic. So that means that Jesus and other enlightened individuals are the embodiment of Jupiter. Jupiter is sattva. Sattva is religious. Sattva follows the rules. They are righteous. They follow the universal rules, which is to create harmony. But her son, which is the father, is being ruled by Venus, so it's Purva Ashada, and that can mean that it brings in a lot of money. That can also be very artistic, and also very, very intelligent. Like, this is a very, very, very intelligent placement. It also means the father was very, very intelligent too. And she, not only is it being ruled by the masculine planet of Jupiter, but she's actually got Jupiter conjunct her sun. So there's so much Jupiter here. And Jupiter is the father. But for a woman's chart, their Jupiter is really their own husband. So, but you can look at the ninth house from Jupiter to look at her father, which, let me look, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So her dad could have been in business. Her dad could have been in finance, because this is also in the 8th house. Not only is her actual Jupiter in the 8th house, but 9th house from her Jupiter, which talks about her father, is in the 3rd house. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 8th house? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, it's the 4th house. Okay, it's the 4th house. That's interesting too. So then her dad was like, her dad was very about the money. That's why I keep thinking that her dad was like very rich, because 4th house is a very maternal house, very motherly house. But 4th house is also about securities, like literal securities, stocks, bonds. That's why I'm thinking like, and her actual Jupiter's in the 8th house. So I'm wondering like if she comes from a father who is in business in some type of way, or in finance in some type of way. So this is really good for money, like really, really good for money. The other thing is her moon is in Rohini. Those people also make money. These women are, they can be very Moon is very babyish, so these moon people can have very like big eyes. They can have high cheekbones. They can have kind of rounder faces. They can be shorter. I notice a lot of moon women will have small shoulders. They'll be dainty, but it's kind of a little bit more boxy, especially around the shoulders. I notice a lot of women, moon women, especially Shravana and Rohini, will tend to have this, and she's a Rohini moon. Rohini is very beautiful. Rohini is the favorite of Chandra. Chandra is the moon god, and his favorite daughter was Rohini, which is this exact star. This is a very blessed star. And I think men who have this star are really fucking sexy. These women will have a little bit extra fat, which is perfect, if you ask me. You rarely see Rohini. You'll see Rohini women, if they're thin, then they're going to be taller. And that could be the only reason why they would be more lean like that, is because they're 5'9". Like what's her name? Olivia Wilde. She's Rohini, but she's also tall, right? I'm pretty sure Florence Pugh is shorter. So it's that same weight, it's just shorter. So that's why usually moon women are shorter, and they have a little more flesh on their skin. Which I am not mad at. Okay, and plus she's got some sun in the eighth house. That's the eighth house of Scorpio. So this is gonna make you very sexy, very sexual, very alluring in general. Very, very sensual. She might be someone who needs to get penetrated, or needs to penetrate, likes to peg people. I'm just kidding. But eighth house is all about penetration. So there's something about like she either like is a very like intuitive person that really needs to sink her teeth into something, when or she's really good at like figuring out information. Like she could be a really good spy. Like she can like do research. She can just anything that unearthing something, finding out something, which is kind of interesting, because that's kind of the storyline, kind of one of the storylines in that cult movie she did. What was the cult movie she did where she's the May Queen? Midsummer. Throughout the movie, she's unearthing, she's uncovering what this cult actually is and what they're doing. And that's actually very much in her chart. And the fact that it was something sinister, which is also eighth house, because eighth house is Mars, right? It was like she was unearthing this. She was and it's funny because her son, the most fatherly planets is the sun and Jupiter, and they're both conjunct in the eighth house. Eighth house is other people's money also. So she definitely like will have an inheritance from her father, or she's definitely gonna like, or maybe she even currently like benefits from her father's wealth, from her father's fortune. And not only that, not only is that a rich placement, but her Ketu itself is in Revati. Revati, first of all, women who have Revati, it is literally said in the ancient Vedic scripture that their beauty can be spotted in a crowd of thousands. And Florence definitely has that vibe. So first of all, Ketu is in Revati. Ketu is past life. So this means that she comes from a long line. Ketu is also the maternal side. So this could mean that she comes like from a long line of being the daughter of a wealthy a wealthy man, and then her mother was also the daughter of a wealthy man, and her mother was also the daughter of a wealthy man. But it's interesting because as famous as she is, she has Ketu in the 11th house. Daisy Edgar Jones also has her Ketu in the 11th house, and Angelina Jolie has her Ketu in the 11th house, and your boy Bill of the Universe has his Ketu in the 11th house. These people are naturally popular. These people, are liked. These people are sought after. These people, they can be popular if they want to. The thing is that they're actually kind of introverted. They're actually very chill. For example, Angelina Jolie, perfect example. We love her. We revere her. We see her as number one. But she's not going to every red carpet. She's actually kind of introverted. You know what I mean? So that's just how they are. Ketu and 11th are kind of introverted people, which means she has her Rahu in the fifth house. That's so interesting. Usually, people with Rahu and Chitra are people that like are kind of hyper obsessed with looking very, very sexy. So I don't get that impression from her. That's interesting. I wonder because you know who's Chitra? Kim Kardashian, Amber Rose, Josephine Baker, like women who were known for being very, very sexual, having their sexuality being put on display, and having all these men like ogle over them. That's not the impression I'm getting from that you get from Florence Pugh. But her Rahu is in Chitra, and Chitra is that Kim Kardashian energy. When it's not being expressed in a Kim Kardashian energy, Chitra actually is expressed in an engineering energy, in a coding, like computers, computer coding, and like I said, engineering, just like the math and science part. She might be someone who has a lot of projects. She might be someone who actually is. She might be. I mean, I don't know. She might be a coder. She might like computers in that way. She might be really good at math and science. She might have. She might be very, very intelligent. I wouldn't be surprised because she's a Rohini moon. Rohini are so smart. Rohini people can be genius, honestly. Rohini people can be very, very hyper intelligent. Now, on the downside of Rohini, and you know who else was Rohini? Rohini is not only very beautiful, but they're hyper intelligent. You know who else was Rohini? Was Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was a Rohini son. She also was very beautiful, but very hyper intelligent as well, and she really, really was an intellectual. And Rohini people, not all the time, but when they choose to express this, like Rohini's Venus, right? Venus is what gives you pleasure. So for some people, and but also Rohini is ruled by the moon, and the moon is the mind. So when you're mixing in moon and Venus, this can come out as someone who finds pleasure in intellectual pursuits. And since she has her Rahu in Chitra, which is coding and numbers and science and math, so she can have a lot of like kind of like secret hobbies that have a lot to do with technology and engineering. It could be anything, whether it be computers, but it could also be like designing things for the home, making like contraptions and just tinkering with things. Who's really good at this also is Revati. Revati is also really good at that. And also Revati, I notice, I realize, are very political. Revati people have a very kind of soft spot for the like mankind, the general collective. So you'll see a lot of them being like hyper conscious of the world, of they like recycling, or have solar panels on their roof, or they're just very like conscious of the collective. But like I said, Revati come from rich families. She's got the sun and Jupiter both rule the father. All right, and it's in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. Plus, it's conjunct Jupiter. I mean, that's so much Jupiter. It makes you very strong. It makes you, now you need to watch out for this, because it makes you very sacrificing, and you take a lot of hits for people. These people take a lot of hits. And when they decide that they've had enough of people's bullshit, they turn and they can turn into a monster. And the fact that she's Rohini moon, because Rohini is the bull. These people can have an energy where it's bull in a china shop. Like, watch out for this person. This person is dangerous. And I'm not saying like that they're like this all the time, because actually I get a very, like I said before, I get a very chill vibe from this chart. And from just being an intuitive person, looking at her eyes, I can just see she's a chill person. But when these people decide to be bull in a china shop, it's scary. Like, it is scary. It's very, very intense. Honestly, I want to say it. This energy can be hellish, literally hellish, like red. They see red. They're bull. And it's interesting because she's a Taurus moon is what she is. She's a Rohini moon. She always has that septum piercing. That's the bull. Now it's interesting. because she has so much Jupiter. It was made. It was first. This concept was introduced to me first by astrologer Claire Nocti, and then I kept seeing it in my personal life and in my findings throughout the years. That people who are too much Jupiter, they need someone who takes away all that excess energy. The best person for that is a Ketu person. So this person, because they're so Jupiter, they might be drawn karmically to men that take too much from them because they have too much excess energy anyway. They already have a rich daddy. They already come from a rich mom. You know what this is? You know that song, "Summertime and the living is easy." Yo, daddy's rich. Yo, what is it? Yo, daddy's rich and your mom, she's good looking. That's exactly this chart. Yo, daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. And she also comes from like nobility, or she comes from, not nobility, but I mean, she could. Like, she could. Revati's very, 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 very rich. So, and she's Rohini. Rohini has financial demands, honey. But yeah, so because there's so much Jupiter, like she shouldn't be surprised if she attracts men that she feels like energetically takes too much. You know what's so funny is that she did a movie recently with Andrew Garfield, and Andrew Garfield is a Ketu person. That exact energy that I was saying is needed to kind of siphon that extra excess energy from that Jupiter can create. And Ketu does that marvelously. And so I wonder if that movie that she did with Andrew Garfield, who was a Ketu person, I wonder if part of the storyline was that he was taking too much from her, or he was kind of like, he was like into drugs or alcoholism, or there's something about him that actually was like taking too much from her energetically. Now, she could like the sauce herself. She could enjoy alcohol herself because she's so Jupiter. Jupiter tends to escape. Jupiter tends to isolate themselves, and Jupiter tends to not want to be in this world. So they tend to like be drunk. They tend to be something. So Jupiter can be an escape. And she, not only is her sun ruled by Jupiter, but then she's got her actual Jupiter conjunct her sun. And then she's got a Jupiter ruled Rashi in Ketu, and then Rohini is sensual. Rohini loves sex. Rohini is so sensual. Rohini loves good food, loves to eat, loves to fuck. Rahu's in Chitra in the fifth house. Rahu in fifth house makes you kind of perverted. It can make you sexual. Chitra is very sexual because it's ruled by Mars. I mean, you got a lot of very, and she's got her Saturn in Purva Bhadrapada in her 10th house. That is so interesting. So that Purva Bhadrapada is a star ruled by, you guessed it, Jupiter. And it's sitting in her 10th house, the most visible house in someone's chart. And she's got Saturn, which is the authority figure. So when the public sees her, they see an authority figure. They see a force. They see someone you don't fuck with, you know, which is fascinating because she looks like an overall quiet person. Again, that's that Ketu in the 11th. Ketu in the 11th, people are chill. They're more at home. They're homebodies. You know, I like this chart. This chart's not easy. This chart is not easy. This chart has ups and downs, baby. What's interesting is she's got Mars and Mercury in Uttara Ashara, which is a very, very masculine placement. And Andrew Garfield was an Uttara Ashara, is an Uttara Ashara moon. So that means her Mars and Mercury is conjunct his moon, which would have made really good compatibility on screen. So yeah, I'm glad I looked at this chart. It's an interesting chart to look at. Of all the charts I've done in the last few days, this one really stands out. Yeah, you stick around this girl long enough, you're gonna see a lot of different levels. Okay, all right, cool, bye.